Hi, I'm Clay from EMF Rod Ends, and we're here to talk a little bit today about some steering wander. It's a thing that's mixed up with steering memory. We talked a lot about steering memory, how our ball joints can get rid of it. A lot of people are having issues with joints and confusing wander with memory. Wander is when the truck just moves back and forth left to right. You'll probably get like a 1 o'clock to 11 o'clock motion in the steering wheel. A lot of times shops will put steering stabilizers on, they'll put new ball joints in, they'll put new steering boxes in, they'll put steering box braces on, and all that does is just create steering memory. What steering memory does is it stiffens all the steering components so your vehicle just goes straight down the road, but your steering column still has an issue in it, so you'll still have wander back and forth. As those components get loose, your truck just starts to dart back and forth. A lot more at slow speeds than it does at high speeds, and a lot more with big tires. I wanted to kind of show everybody where that comes from, because a lot of shops and a lot of do-it-yourself mechanics just keep missing this one point. We've already talked about it. It's the bushing that's in the steering column. This is a steering column out of the Dodge. I believe this one's out of a 2010. Unfortunately, I don't have the right size steering wheel, so we're only using a 13-inch steering wheel. They have a 15, I believe, so the motion's actually greatly accented. This bushing, I don't even know why Dodge has it here. Maybe it's a vibration deadener for people who can't handle a little bit of vibration in their steering wheel, but there's a rubber bushing inside this. This bushing is attached to this piece, which is also attached to a collar that goes around this portion of the column. Then there's this pin that goes straight through this collar. Once the rubber starts to break down, this pin will start bouncing off either side. This pin is to prevent this from spinning right around and you driving into oncoming traffic. However, after about 100,000 kilometers, could be less on gravel roads or if you hit a pothole, the bushing breaks down and you get a lot of play between this rod and the steering column. Again, this is a lot of times thought of as a bad steering box, but just to show you, this one's slightly worn. It's not 100% worn yet, but I want you to watch these pins here and this line. So when I turn the steering wheel back and forth, this portion of the steering column is attached to my steering box. Do you notice how it's not even moving and just the whole entire canister is just moving back and forth? Now, it doesn't seem like a lot. If you look at the steering wheel here, notice how the shaft is just stationary, but my upper column's moving back and forth. Okay, now if you take a look at the steering wheel, see how much motion I've got going back and forth here? That's quite a bit. So, if you're troubleshooting your truck and you run into a point where your truck wanders back and forth just a little bit, I've heard terms of micro-correcting or anything like that, the problem lies right here. I've talked to almost every shop I've talked to hasn't even thought of these or even knows that these exist. It's pretty frustrating for me, but I just hope this kind of helps everybody in diagnosing the problems.